Yo, what's up, guys? Topics checking in here. It's been a little bit since my last video on whose fault the meta is. Appreciate the support on that one, you guys. Um, yeah, I wanted to make this video though. This is my end of season 1 official recommendations for Blizzard and the Warrior devs on how to make this class better. So, I love this class, okay? Prot Warrior is so much fun to play. DPS Warrior is growing on me too, even though I didn't play much of it this season. I think I'm definitely going to play more DPS Warrior next season, especially because it's looking pretty strong after the recent buffs on PTR. But yeah, I wanted to go over how to make this class better. So, I made a recent X post and a community post here on YouTube, and we live in modern WoW right now, okay? This is retail. Every class is getting so powerful and their utility kits is getting insane, right? Paladin, Shaman, Druid, and Evoker, in my opinion, have the best utility kits. There's a lot of classes in the middle, and then there's a couple classes that are really struggling. So I would say the bottom two classes for utility are definitely us, Warriors, and DK. DKs literally bring AMZ for the party and some grips, and that's about it, right? Their tanking class did a lot of damage this season, but other than that, they literally just bring AMZ and grips. So, and then our class, Warrior, we just bring a very puny rallying cry right here, 10% HP for 10 seconds. We bring Intervene, which just intercepts melee and ranged attacks, but it's only physical, right? It's only physical attacks. But thankfully to our hero talent right here, where is it? Right here. Storm Shield. Intervene grants a shield for 5 seconds to an ally that absorbs magic damage. So there's a lot of AoE magic damage this season, so this has been nice. But it's really only like a 15% absorb shield on magic, so it doesn't really do much. Like, it may save you from like one tick. First boss, Stone Vault, may save someone from a tick on the AoE on first boss of City of Threads, or maybe the third boss, stuff like that. But it's very niche, and sometimes it's not ideal, because if they're out of range or they're in a weird spot and you intervene to them, you could put yourself in harm as well. So this is a very niche utility. But that's literally all that we bring, is Rallying Cry and then Intervene, which is super niche. Our party buff, Battle Shout, increases attack power by 5%. This doesn't really help. This doesn't really help you unless you do physical damage either. You need something that affects spell power, or just other types of damage. Attack power is really only for physical classes. So those are like the three things we bring. Two of them which are niche, and Battle Shout and Intervene, and then the other one is a raid defensive that's very weak. And then you have other classes that bring, Dispels, Battle Res, Lust, Off Healing, different types of externals, all much more valuable to our class. So let's get into it. On my Raid Royale page, this is my wish list. They need to buff Rallying Cry back to 20% HP, so that it's actually a more powerful party defensive. They need to make Intervene into an external that's usable by any spec. The fact that you have to charge to the class to actually do anything, I know that they're trying to fulfill the warrior fantasy, but I think that you should be able to just put this on a party member from wherever you are, and it should act as an external. Like, whether they make that 20% like sack, I'm not sure, but this should be usable by any warrior spec as an external. They need to cause Battle Shout to also affect spell power or other damage types, and not just attack power, because right now this basically means we only bring a party buff for like Outlaw Rogue, Hunter, Monk in some aspects, maybe like Feral Druid, because all these other specs, they do different types of damage and not just physical. So they need to rework this party buff somehow. And then lastly, you know, I only put 4 things here because I don't want to get too greedy. But lastly, they need to give us some more mob control. So I don't know if that's a displacement similar to Ring of Peace, whether it's a grip. One idea I had was to give us a choice node. I'll show you where. So Champion's Might. If you read this, it actually says that it's chained to your spear. But the problem is they have to already be in your spear. I think this should work, that it grips all nearby enemies to the spear. So you could almost use this as an AoE grip, right? You go into a mob, you throw down your champion spear, and it grips everyone, you know, within maybe 15 yards or something like that. That would be really sick to help control mobs. Or they could just give warriors some type of extra kick. One of the biggest struggles this season in comparison with Prop Paladin is the ability to control mobs and to grip them in or gather them. If you have a pack that you need to pull where everything's spaced out, it's very difficult. One thing that comes to mind is the first pull after the second boss in Siege of Borealis, right? You have the big crusher dude, and then you have like the caster mob that's kind of to the left a little bit, and then you got the other 3 guys that are like spread apart. It's stuff like that that's very annoying for Prot Warrior. So some type of more mob control would go a long way. So those are kind of my thoughts. I mean, I look at our class tree and our spec tree, and it's all personal related, right? Like, it's all stuff to make us more tanky, do more damage, different damage profiles like single target, 2 target cleave, AoE. Like, it's all personal stuff, nothing that helps your teammates or your party very much. And in modern WoW, you just can't have that, especially if you're someone that likes to play Mythic Plus. So I'm advocating for this. Those are my recommendations that shouldn't be too hard for Blizzard, because I'm literally just asking for a change to Rallying Cry, Intervene, Battle Shout, and Champion Spear, all which we currently have, so they don't have to invent new abilities. They can literally just alter the way these abilities work, and I feel like it would go a super long way for this class. Imagine if Warrior was doing good damage and was pretty tanky, but Intervene was 20% external. You had an AoE grip in Champion Spear. Your party buff affected all classes, and your party defensive was a little bit better. Like, our class would actually be very good. So those are my recommendations. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Just wanted to cook a little bit. As for future videos, I know that I haven't posted a lot of gameplay. It's just been me discussing the game a lot. That's just because the season's dying down, and you know, I'm definitely hitting a brick wall at my IO playing an off-meta class with no team. It's very tough. It's been a lot of depletes recently, unfortunately, but I do have a 15 Mists commentary coming up. I realized that was a key that I definitely should have a commentary on that I hadn't. So look forward to that coming soon, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.